analog horror, a new form of online horror popularized by series like Local 58 and the Mandela Catalog. Since then, it spread out to many franchises, and one of the more popular types of analog horror is Godzilla analog horror. The most popular Godzilla analog horror is The Man in the Suit, but we won't be covering that today. Instead, we will cover a lesser-known series called the Kaiju Files. Today, we will do a complete analysis and deep dive into the series. This video will completely spoil the entire series. If you have any interest in online horror, Godzilla, or both, watch the series. It's great and short, so it won't take up much of your time. But before that, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. If you want to skip right to the analysis, go to this timestamp. Without any further ado, this is the Kaiju Files. Episode 1, Underwater Encounter, 1983. The episode starts out with text on screen. We learn that this video is from a Gabriel Smiths, a marine biologist for underwater deep life. Gabriel recounts a story that during the summer of 1983, he and a team of marine biologists were sent to an expedition to study the ocean floor at Tokyo. They took a small submarine down to the depths. Things were relatively peaceful as things can be when you're at the bottom of the ocean. They saw most of the deep-sea life you expected, seahorses, frogfish, squids, etc., until they encountered this. The image is pretty hard to decipher, but we can make out that it is a freshly synced submarine due to the minimal algae. As they approached the sub, they noticed the thing had been snapped in half, with claw markings all over. As they went to take a photo, a sound interrupted them. The crew was entirely stunned as to what that noise could have been. As they turned to the right of the submarine, they could see this. The crew was frozen in fear, whilst admiring its formidable stature and feature. The creature roared at them again and started to pursue them. However, the pilot of the submarine was booking it out of there. When they returned, they were all completely terrified of what they just saw. Also, when they returned, they spoke to one of the locals who told them the tale of a monster that destroyed Tokyo during November of 1954. The local told the crew that the beast stood up on its two giant legs with a vertical stance, spewed a flaming breath like a dragon, and anyone nearby would suffer the effects of radiation. The local continued explaining how the beast's rampage did not leave many survivors, and the ones who did survive were left in a vegetative state due to the radiation exposure. The beast's name was Gojira. The local did not speak of the monster as how he would describe a story, but more so how a war veteran would describe the war. The local informed the crew to not speak of what they saw, else the government will find them. The local then faded away, as if their conversation never occurred. Gabriel returned to his motel, but he realized that the beast's existence could pose a threat to the entirety of the world. He explains how the reason for the tape's existence is to document his research on Gojira, and how this very well may get him killed, because the government is searching for him. That's the end of the video, but there's still more. Looking down at the description, we see this Japanese text. Translating it, we get, "This fowl does not exist, Godzilla does not exist, nothing happened in Tokyo in 1954. Seems like the government is trying to gaslight us into believing Godzilla exists. But why would they want to do that? Episode 2, NEKTON Deep Sea Creature Educational Video, 1987. It's an educational video, huh? Analog horror plus educational video usually doesn't end well. But hey, let's see what this one has. The video starts with a logo from a deep sea exploration called NEKTON. The tape shows that the video was recorded on November 28, 1990 at 6:25 p.m., 7 years after the first video. We also see this logo on the top left, and TBC. Some nice little music plays. And we cut to another video. This video is listed as being recorded on February 2nd, 1987 at 8:26 p.m. A robotic voice informs us we'll be learning about deep sea creatures. Awesome!
Today we will be outlining some weird and wonderful deep sea creatures we have documented.
We learn about the adorable blobfish with their enormous head and large jaws. Apparently, instead of scales, blobfish have loose, flabby skin.
How strange.
That's what I was thinking. Next, we learn about the terrifying anglerfish. We learn of their glowing luminescent bulb that lures in prey.
Creepy.
The next fish we learn about is...
Run, 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 run.
Now I wonder who this could be. The robot thanks us for watching the educational video and tells us to
Keep exploring.
The description of the video says, "Thank you for purchasing the NEKTON Deep Sea education video. We hope you enjoy. We sure did. Keep exploring." My guess is that Gabriel purchased the video from NEKTON and is sharing it to us, encouraging us to keep exploring. Episode 3, K.R.I S.A.F.E Protocol in case of Kaiju attack in 1987. We open on a blue VHS screen. The screen then switches to an FBI warning. A voice informs us that this tape, K.R.I Protocol Evacuation Tape, is a strictly prohibited tape. Unless we're part of High Command, we can't watch this. Well, we're just gonna ignore that.
Hey, is this editing me? When I was editing it, I realized I forgot to mention this logo. Make sure to keep it in mind and remember what it looks like.
The voice talks about the S.A.F.E protocol, a protocol used during Kaiju attacks. The S stands for
Safely herd towards your local designated Kaiju evacuation point to be checked off the roster.
check off the roster. What could that mean? The A stands for
Avoid all dangerous environments, especially if there are any distractions. This includes your loved ones, friends, family, and anyone begging for their life.
lovely advice. Then this happens. What a nice and wholesome tape we're watching. The F stands for
Follow K.R.I personnel's instructions. It could save your life.
finally something that sounds normal. I don't even want to sleep tonight, you know? Also, I just want to say how much the channel has improved with making it scary in only 2 episodes. We went from text on a screen and some images to this. That's just great. The description of this video says, "Never seen before tape from K.R.I. Wonder what they're hiding." With this string of characters below. They have to lead to something, but I can't find what to do with them. Hopefully you guys can help out so we can solve this mystery. Episode 4, the Seafloor broadcast Mariana Trench in 1985. It looks like in this video, we're going to be learning about the seafloor. I'm sure nothing could possibly go wrong at the seafloor, especially in this series.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
A voice welcomes us to the Seafloor broadcast, where we're going to learn all about life in the depths of the ocean. Apparently, this broadcast is brought by the support of the Deep Blue Foundation in Oceania. Looks like we have 2 new players in this game. We will be specifically learning about deep sea life in the Mariana Trench. If we were to see any G-Man related horrors, then the big guy must have traveled at least 2,557 kilometers.
Get ready to experience the ocean through the lens of a deep underwater camera inside a small submarine and a guide who will provide captions for what you observe.
Warning, you identified creature has attacked submarine. Please remain calm as we attempt system reboot.
It's also there. It is angry. It is God. He is coming. He is coming. He is
No bearing of this tape outside of government or military officials are strictly prohibited. Any viewing of this tape will be investigated by the FBI and will result in life in prison and
So it seems the 250,000 fine changed. And guys, I think he's coming. If you saw it on the footage, you'll also see this message. There is no saving any of us. What an uplifting message. The description of this video just says, "The world needs to know the truth." Before we get to the next video, on the same day this was uploaded, the channel posted a short called "He's Waking Up." Let's see what it's about.
implies that this company did something. Whatever they did, we still don't know.
This logo is the same one that appears in the S.A.F.E protocol, so these two are obviously connected. Episode 5, FBI Missing People Investigation. A voice informs us that the viewing of this tape is prohibited outside of government and military officials. But hey, that didn't stop us before, so why should it now? Another voice informs us that at 6 p.m. today,
our investigation team was meant to arrive back at the
wherever that is, but only one agent returned, missing an arm and all of his crew. Luckily, he was able to bring back an audio recording of the events that unfolded.
Yo, Peters, you recording?
Nah, they said photos only.
Alright, Overwatch, you copy? Cool, communications are up and running. Let's start heading north for the target search area.
It seems the members of this team are Peter, Overwatch, and the cameraman. They head north for the target search area. They have some banter until this happens.
She's just saying.
Luckily, the video resumes. The crew continues walking in what is best is a forest due to the image and the sounds of the footsteps, until we hear this. One of them plays it off as rocks, which, have you ever heard any rocks that sound like that? They continue walking, and we cut to a screen that says, like before, more corruption. I'm sure there isn't a kaiju that, disrupts technology. When it returns, we hear the walking again, but also see/hear this. We then hear screams and running. Then it sounds like a kaiju fight and screaming. Seems like our crew ran into an unfortunate encounter with a Mudo. The description of this video says, found an old tape box in my dad's basement. This one was labeled FBI Missing Persons Investigation. After watching it, I won't be sleeping for a week, with these string of characters. Episode 6, Funny. Our 6th episode is our darkest one yet, and I can't even describe the horrors it contains. There's no description for this video, and it doesn't really serve the story, but to be honest, I needed it after all the trauma that came before. Our final episode is called Honolulu Incident in 1988. The video starts out with nice, relaxing footage of a beach, most likely Honolulu. Wow, how relaxing. I love the beach.
Attention all citizens of the state of Hawaii. This is a message from the United States government. This is not a drill. A large object has been detected out by Honolulu shore. Its specific trajectory is unidentified, but all citizens within the area are advised to take immediate evacuation procedures, or to seek shelter wherever possible. The United States military has sent out planes and tanks to take down the creature. We advise you to stay calm, stay safe, and run, 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 run.
The description of this video just says, he's coming. While this series is short, we can still make out a storyline. It all started in 1983, with the encounter of Godzilla underwater and Gabriel learning about Gojira's story. From there, he began to investigate the kaiju with the government on his back. His research brought him to NEKTON, who had the educational video with footage of Gojira. He then got access to the K.R.I tape, but how is still unknown. It was most likely something to do with that line of characters, but I just don't know what to do with it. We need to find a way to decipher both these lines of characters, which could be the key to solving the story. Also, in the K.R.I tape, we learn of this organization. They show up twice in the whole series, and from what they want you to do in the K.R.I tape, they probably aren't the good guys. In the FBI tape video, we can piece together that his dad had the tape. This most likely means his father has something to do with Gojira, or worked with the FBI in some way. Honolulu incident, whilst much doesn't happen in the video, we can actually see some story development. It seems by 1988 the government isn't hiding the fact that Godzilla exists, as they publicly state a giant creature is causing the attack and not a tsunami. Which begs the question, why does the video show a tsunami warning? Well, it's probably because civil authorities doesn't really know what to do, so the closest they had was a tsunami warning. In conclusions, the Kaiju Files is a great analog horror about a man named Gabriel Smith trying to unearth the world that monsters exist. All that is left to solve the puzzle is what do these lines of character mean? Thanks for watching, and what did you think of the Kaiju Files and the video?